You know, in a world that's just buzzing with constant noise and information, it's so easy to feel completely lost. But what if I told you that some of the clearest answers to our most modern problems were actually written down over 2,500 years ago? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
Does any of this sound familiar? That daily flood of choices you have to make, the constant pressure to have an opinion on everything you see online, the challenges of leading a team, or heck, even just navigating your own relationships. Life today can feel incredibly complex, right? But the good news is there are some simple, timeless principles that can really help cut through all that confusion.
Okay, so let's get into it. Our guide on this journey is an ancient Buddhist text called the Bāhitika Sutta. Now, don't let the word ancient fool you. It's basically a conversation that's just packed with practical wisdom that is, and this is the amazing part, startlingly relevant to the challenges we all face right now in the 21st century.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to unpack 4 really powerful ideas from this ancient text. First, how to build your own personal framework for making better decisions. Then, how to act with integrity online. After that, what true leadership really looks like. And finally, the surprising power of just sharing.
First up, building a reliable internal compass for your actions. This is all about moving beyond that feeling of confusion and starting to make choices with real clarity and confidence, whether they're huge life decisions or tiny everyday ones. So the Sutta gives us this clear goal to aim for, something it calls a blameless act. Now what's so cool about this is the definition. It's not about being perfect, not at all. It's simply about acting in a way that avoids causing harm to yourself or to others. It's about living by a standard that, wise people would look at and respect.
And here's where it gets super practical. It all boils down to asking yourself this one simple but profound question. Before you share that piece of gossip, before you make that big business decision, before you just speak your mind, you just pause and ask, will this cause harm? It's like a powerful, universal filter you can apply to all of your choices.
Okay, let's move on and see how this ancient standard applies to something incredibly modern, our lives on social media. This is where that idea of a blameless act becomes so practical for all of us.
So on the left, you see the default mode for so many of us online, right? It's that impulsive, knee-jerk reaction. We see something, we feel a big emotion, and boom, we immediately comment, share, or post. But the Sutta guides us toward the path on the right, what we're calling the mindful pause. It's a deliberate shift from just reacting to instead responding thoughtfully.
So how do we actually do this? Well, it's a super simple 3-step process. First, just pause. Seriously, take one conscious breath before you hit send. Second, apply that exact same guiding question we just learned. Will this post or this comment spread harm, division, or hatred? And third, only act if the answer is a clear and confident no. It's that simple.
Now, let's switch gears and talk about leadership. Whether you're a CEO, a parent, or just a leader in your community, the Sutta offers a really powerful lesson through this fascinating story about a king.
Okay, so the story involves 2 main characters. On one side, we have King Kosala, a powerful ruler with an entire kingdom at his command. And on the other, we have Venerable Ananda, a deeply respected and wise monk.
So here's the crucial part of the story. The king, despite all his power and authority, actually seeks out the monk to ask for an honest review of his actions. He wants to know if he's ruling in a just way. And this is a perfect illustration of what we now recognize as a core skill of great leadership, being open to feedback. Real strength isn't about never making mistakes, it's about having the wisdom and the humility to listen.
All right, for our final big idea, we're going to look at the power of generosity. The Sutta shows how a single, simple act of giving can create this amazing chain reaction of benefits. And get this, it's an idea that connects directly to one of the biggest economic concepts of our time.
So here's what happens in the story. The king offers Ananda a new robe, but he adds a little condition. Please, give your old one to another monk. And that monk, in turn, is encouraged to pass his older robe on to someone else. You can see the ripple effect right here. The value of that one single gift isn't limited to just one person. It actually multiplies as it gets passed along.
And this is where an ancient story suddenly sounds like a headline from today's news. It perfectly illustrates the modern concept of a circular economy. You see, instead of our usual take, make, and waste system, the goal here is to keep resources in use for as long as possible. The Sutta laid out this exact principle thousands of years ago. Don't just throw away what you no longer need. Find a way to pass it on to someone who can actually use it. It's a profound insight into both building community and sustainability.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap of the 4 key pieces of wisdom we've just unpacked. First, use that simple, will this cause harm question as your personal compass. Second, practice the mindful pause before you engage online. Third, if you're a leader, make being open to feedback your superpower. And finally, create positive change through the awesome ripple effect of sharing.
Look, this ancient wisdom isn't just some academic thing to think about. It's a practical toolkit for living a better, more thoughtful life. So the final question is for you. Looking at these 4 ideas, which one really resonates the most with you? Which one are you going to try to apply, starting today? Because the real power isn't just in knowing these things, it's in actually putting them into practice.